What really went wrong with the Jubilee nominations? The country is still in shock. And what we have witnessed is a situation whereby the nominations, in fact, did not take place at all. And there are many questions people asking what happened. Because there were very high expectations for the Jubilee nominations to go like clockwork, or at least, at the very least, to take place. Now, before we analyze this mess and what happened, let me make it very clear that this is not the end of the world. These are just the nominations. There's enough time for the party to hand in their candidates. In fact, even other parties which don't, their form of nominations is just to select. Yeah, because the constitution allows that as a party. You can have your constitution and say, we as a party, we normally don't have any elections. We just select people by nominations. We sit and we discuss and we nominate our candidate. Yeah, that's allowed. In fact, most parties give the option of either nomination or an election process. Yeah, so it's not the end of the world. It's not such a big deal. Yeah, but still it's a big deal in the sense that, as one candidate said very well, not one, in fact several of who were interviewed in the media, they said this is a big shame on the leader of this party and the president of the Republic of Kenya. Yeah, because it shows a very poor picture. It depicts a poor picture of the party, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so let's just analyze and see what could have gone wrong. Was there some foul play involved? I had an early analysis where I talked at length about why a nomination is messy, and I gave you various reasons. One of the reasons I gave was interference by the other party. So let's analyze this very honestly and see, was there interference from another party? Where was the main problem actually? Okay? Now, before I make the statement I'm going to make, I just want to remind you of a chain of events which have happened concerning the Jubilee elections. Yeah? Because there are some individuals within the party that are totally to blame for this big mess, which has shamed the entire party. Okay? Now, you will remember that we started with a situation where Jubilee were insisting that the IEBC carry out their nomination exercise. Remember that? Yeah. Now, when that fell through, the next thing we had was that smart cards were going to be used. Okay? Now, I want you to carefully think about these two processes. Yeah? Somebody was trying to make the job easier. In other words, somebody within the party with the responsibility of organizing the party elections was already feeling lazy even before they started the job, and they were trying to make it easier. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not against degrees, I'm not against education, but one of the emphasis that we have had a lot at the Jubilee Secretariat is on people with degrees and professional qualifications, which is okay. There's no problem with that. In fact, it's good. However, there's something else called experience, which sometimes comes in much more handy than paper qualifications. And after the massive purge within the Jubilee Party, where they dismantled a lot of the grassroots structure of the party, the people who are representing the party from the grassroots level, and they put in a totally new structure of their digital group, so-called digital group. This was one of the problems that came out in the buggled up nomination process. Because at the end of the day, you need mtu wa mkono on the ground. What we have in this situation in Jubilee is that we have too many people seated in the office and too few people in the field who can make decisions. Yeah, that is the problem. I'll give you the perfect example. Very early during the Jubilee nomination today, it was noticed that things were going wrong. And a number of people on the ground said these nominations cannot work, they should be called off, etc., etc. But listen to the response which came from the party. Nobody has the authority to postpone the nomination process unless it comes from the party headquarters. Now, of course, nothing wrong with that. That's true. The party headquarters has the responsibility. But it's very telling because it tells you what was happening on the ground, the party headquarters could not fully appreciate. Maybe even somebody had made a call, informed them this is what's happening, but they could not fully appreciate the magnitude of what was going on the ground. It is okay to be extremely intelligent, to have the papers, to have the qualifications, to have everything. But once in a while, if you do not have the experience, my friend, you're going to get tripped up somewhere. As they say, there's absolutely no substitute to experience. And the problem we have had, the main problem, of the crux of the problem within Jubilee, is that within the election board, we have very, very little experience. We have a lot of papers, a lot of very high academic qualifications, but very little or no experience. And naturally, the chickens came home to roost in a very dramatic and brutal way today, Friday, when the Jubilee nominations just fell through, just didn't work, just didn't happen. Okay? This obsession with the paper qualifications, I'm not sure where exactly within the party it's coming from, but wherever it's coming from, it's going to destroy the party, and it's going to let down the very many supporters countrywide of this great party. Okay? Because you will also remember these are the same problems some people in the party have run into, like Sonko, who's an extremely popular person on the ground, but all of a sudden people are now asking for his papers, his academic qualifications. It seems the emphasis is academic qualifications. Even the messenger, if now you're going to say academic qualifications, which is, I said, is okay, but if you're going to say academic qualifications, back at the messenger has academic qualifications, is going to get distracted from making the tea to look and analyze the documents on the desk. So who's going to make the tea? That is the crux of the problem within Jubilee. It looks like a very small petty thing, but it was displayed very, very clearly in the charm of our nominations. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. It was a terrible, terrible thing, which a lot of Jubilee supporters are feeling extremely hurt about. They're feeling extremely angry about, and this anger was expressed because ballot papers were burnt, things destroyed. There was a lot of anger from the voters towards the party, and this is not good going into a general election. I don't think I need to say that, but it's a fact. It's not good at all going into such an election where Jubilee party has a very strong opponent to face. Now I can hear you asking me, is that it? Is that all? Is it, did the nominations fail because there are too many paper qualifications and no hands-on experience in Jubilee? Is that it? I can hear you asking the question. Let me answer. There are other factors that came into play, but the other factors are peripheral. Already the trigger had been set, so when the other factors came in, the whole thing just became a total mess and chaos. Okay, one of the things that I know a lot of you will want to ask is, were there some dirty tricks in play? Did some people sabotage these elections? Were some people planning to rig? Actually, there seems to be evidence, because let's talk with it, because I know there are a lot of rumors, maybe you don't know. There were a lot of rumors before the Jubilee nominations that the whole thing was going to be rigged in favor of some candidates. There were a lot of rumors that the whole lineup had already been prepared, and that those people whose names were not in that lineup were wasting their time, etc., etc. A lot of rumors, but those were rumors. And we cannot use them here. But what we can use here is solid evidence or things which happened which suggest that there must have been something fishy going on. Okay? And let me give you just one example. We know that one of the biggest problems in the process was that a lot of polling stations were receiving very few ballot papers. For example, a polling station has 1,000 registered voters, they receive only 200. Something like that. And that mistake or that problem was repeated across the board in counties across, from Rift Valley to Central, right across the board. Now, one of the funny things that was evident was that, for instance, you would find in a polling station there are 200 ballot papers for governor, 200 for MP, 200 for MCA, and then for the women's rep, you find there are only 100 or 50 or none at all. Now, that defies logic, because normally what you'd want to do when you're sending ballot papers to a station is that, because every voter is expected to vote right across, with very few exceptions. almost no exceptions, yeah, because the process and the way they arrange most of these places, people are supposed to go step by step by step and vote for each person, yeah. Even if you're not sure who to vote for a certain seat, you're allowed to do guesswork as long as you vote for each and every particular seat on offer. Now, the fact that you have fewer ballot papers for the woman rep, in that I've just given an example, but this was happening in most of the counties where elections were taking place. Not in all, but in most, which was rather strange and it's fishy, has a question mark. That can only mean that those fewer ballot papers, some have already disappeared to be marked accordingly. Yeah, that's the only explanation. Because why would you want to send 50 ballot papers for governor, and then all the other seats you send 200, and then governor you only send 50? Why? Can somebody suggest a reason why somebody would want to do that? So obviously there's rigging. And as I've said in this recording before, all politicians are the same. So let me not see in the comments area, Jubilee failed, NASA is better, Jubilee is better, NASA is... Let's keep that nonsense out of here, because all politicians are the same. Okay? Now, if you want to worship a certain politician, because according to me, all politicians are devils. Yeah? So actually, you're worshipping a devil. And that's a story for another day. So if you want to worship your devil, bear in mind that all of them are devils. We do not have angels in one party and devils in the other. All politicians are exactly the same, and they'll use any means possible to get through. The minute somebody understands that, analyzing politics and understanding what happens becomes much easier. Yeah. Now, in conclusion, I just want to remind you that you can find a lot more information about this thorny issue in Club 1999. And then I also want to remind you, or tell you in case you have not heard, that membership to Club 1999 is now virtually free. Yes, you heard me right. Just head over to the Kumekucha blog. You'll see the information, what you need to do. Then you can become a member in the next few seconds and get access to all the information concerning this particular nominations. You can also get an analysis of what to expect in the repeat, which we expect to happen early next week. And then also there's a very interesting story about the Rift Valley, which which I highly recommend, especially those Jubilee supporters should definitely take in. There are very interesting things which are unfolding in the Rift Valley. We have covered them extremely thoroughly in Club 1999. So I urge you to take advantage of that. Now, one of the reasons why we can't discuss that here is that some of these things are highly, highly sensitive, extremely sensitive, and they touch even on what happened in 2007. I'm talking too much. Anyway, rush over to kumekucha.blogspot.com and get all the information that you need. Okay? Thank you very much.